Welcome to the Heads Together podcast. Now, did you notice how slightly sad that little intro was? There was not even a tiny smidge of jazz about it. And that is because I have been poorly. Of course, I haven't actually visited a doctor and been diagnosed, obviously, but Dr. Google reassures me that I am having some kind of inflammatory response. So my bones were hurting, my eczema flared up, my eyes were so sore I could barely open them, and I was exhausted. I am now feeling much better, just to be clear. But I have been really, really poorly. We've been away to Centre Parks, which for anyone across the pond, it's like a kind of wooden lodges in the forest, and you have a big glass dome with a huge swimming pool and slides and whitewater rapids and things in it. Really good fun. And I'd just been there with some family over the weekend. And obviously while I'm there, I literally revert to being a 12-year-old again. And I had to go on the outdoor rapids at least 50 times, like over and over. I think actually towards the end, my son James was getting slightly bored and fed up with them. I think I was loving it more than him. But I think that like the exertion and the chlorine just really knocked me for six. I had some kind of horrible inflammatory response to it anyway. And so I got back thinking, okay, as normal, got stuff to do on Monday. So this was last week, or the week before. I'm not sure when this one's going out. So it was either last week or the week before. And I just sat down at the laptop with my daily 3. I'm like a big Michael Hyatt fan. So I have my top 3 most important things that I want to achieve each day. And I just couldn't focus. So do you know what I did? Turned off the laptop, went back to bed. And it sparked me writing the outline for this podcast episode, because it suddenly dawned on me that when I first started my business, I would have found this really, really difficult. Just taking some time out, not feeling up to working and making the decision to just not work for a day or so to rest. And so I really wanted to share a little bit about that, about how important it is to allow yourself time away from work if you're not feeling 100%. So I shuffled around actually the episodes because I think this is quite important. I wanted to get this out now, this time of year while people are poorly and are coming down with things, how to deal with an off day or an off few days, an off week as an entrepreneur. It's so important that we do this and that we do it without anxiety or fear. Okay, anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to try and muster slightly more jazz to go into this. Let's go. Welcome to the Heads Together podcast. I'm Jill Mokes, and I am obsessed with cutting through the noise when it comes to growing your business. Each week, via intimate coaching conversations and inspirational stories, I share what it really takes to get the results you want in a way that feels right to you. I am all about attracting higher ticket opportunities, building authentic relationships, and creating the abundant, full-fat version of your dream business. I mean, how many of us have beavered away creating a light version of what we really want? The thing is, I honestly believe when you're outstanding at what you do, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So, are you ready to put our heads together and make it happen? Let's go. Here's the thing. You are allowed to be ill. Just because you're a business owner, just because you no longer can just phone up your manager and say, I'm sick, I'm not coming in, just because it all feels like it's on your shoulders, that doesn't change anything. You're allowed to be ill. You're allowed to take some time off. The world won't end. But so often as business owners, it feels like it will. We feel panicky and we feel anxious and almost as if no matter how we feel, we've got to push on through. But you know what? A couple of days ago, I honestly felt so poorly. I had to cancel and reschedule a couple of my precious client coaching calls. And that is something I absolutely hate to do. But here's the thing, my clients always deserve me to be on my A game. As a coach, showing up with anything less than my best self just isn't an option for me when I'm coaching. Maybe that's why I don't find it so difficult to take the time out, because I've reframed it in my head. I have a different paradigm. I have the paradigm that my clients deserve to only see me and to only be coached by me when I am well, when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling absolutely on my A game. So I think it's really important to stop this kind of, I've got to show up no matter what. I've got to show up. I mean, I'm going to be honest, if I had to cancel 2 client calls, bearing in mind that is the work I value the most highly in my business, then you can imagine I did nothing else. I certainly didn't do any social media, any of that kind of thing, any marketing activities, any admin types of things. All I did was took a couple of days out to absolutely rest, give myself time to recuperate, to feel better, to do all the self-care things that I needed to do. And I think there's a lot of things that trigger us being terrified of taking this time out, being scared to not show up. One of the things I can remember feeling was I set so much store by being consistent. And I'm not saying that consistency isn't important, it is, but I would set so much store by being consistent that if I didn't feel good and I really should have been resting, I would push on through because I didn't want to break that consistency streak. Can you relate to that? I prided myself on being so consistent. But the truth is, we're not doing anyone any favors by having that keep calm and carry on kind of attitude. Not ourselves and not our clients. We're not doing anyone any favors by being that way. And interestingly, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking how the way we feel about taking time out for self-care is really closely tied to our abundance versus scarcity mindset. Because when you cultivate an abundant mindset, then you know it's okay to take time out. You completely understand that nothing is going to break in your absence. You're comfortable with the space you have in your business to accommodate taking time off. You're confident that the value you bring to your clients and that relationship that you've nurtured with them means that all they're going to feel for you is concern and relief that you're taking that time out to recover. Those are all the feelings that you have when you have an abundant mindset around your business. When you're feeling good, when you value your worth, when you know you deliver at a high level to your clients. And the problem is the opposite of that. When you have a mindset of scarcity, of lack, then what happens is you catastrophize the impact of taking some time off. You're going to start thinking, oh my God, like my ideal clients are going to forget about me, or my existing clients are going to go elsewhere. And you start thinking, oh, my marketing is no longer consistent. That's it. It's ruined. Everything's broken. My business is never going to recover from this. It's never going to be the same. And it's such a catastrophe kind of mindset. But that's what happens. We disproportionately worry about the impact that taking a few days out or a bit of time out is going to have. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that taking extended time out from your business is difficult. Okay. You know me. I'm not an unrealistic person in terms of this kind of thing. I'm not going to tell you that you can disappear for 6 months and it's not going to make any difference. Clearly that's not true. But here I'm talking about you've woken up with a stinking cold. You just don't feel up to it and you need a couple of days in bed. That's what I'm really talking about here. And this all comes down to how our thoughts are what determine our actions. And we can control our thoughts. So having that abundant mindset means that we're going to give ourselves time to rest and feel better before coming back ready to go again. feeling good, feeling back to our A game, ready to serve our clients. And the problem is that the scarcity mindset thoughts, those determine different actions. Those make us push through, suck it up, end up doing this sort of subpar work. And ironically, taking way longer to recover than we would have done if we'd have just had that little bit of confidence and abundance around giving ourselves time and space. One thing that I was just thinking was, if you have a team, even if it's just you and your VA, just be sure to talk about what needs to happen if you're sick. Okay? So you might want to think about setting up a protocol. So it could be that you just send your VA a single WhatsApp message that kind of kicks off this sickness protocol or whatever, and she then takes over in your absence. So maybe she or he will reschedule your calls in your calendar, schedule any social media posts that need to be done, send emails, invoices, all that kind of thing. But I mean, you can decide between you what the minimum activity in the business is, and document that as it's like one of those, those in case of emergency break glass. That's what it is. It's one of those processes that they can follow in your absence. Because here's the thing, once you've done that, then taking some time out isn't going to feel quite as anxiety inducing, and you'll get to recover so much quicker. So please don't panic when you don't feel up to working. You need to rest, recover, and return. Don't you love it when you think of 3 words that all begin with the same letter? I love it. Most of their C words, aren't they? There's about 1,000 different marketing C words, like connection and consistency and collaboration. And oh my God, there's so many of them. Anyway, I'm going with 3 R's today. Rest, recover, return. It really is what you deserve. And the thing is, it's what your clients deserve from you too. If you listen to this podcast, you are probably someone who really is very protective over the type of clients you work with and builds deep relationships with those clients. So your clients deserve you to be at your best, and they will want you to rest and recover. They will not want you pushing on through when you're feeling really grotty. As you can hear, my voice is still, I probably sound as if I haven't given myself quite long enough because my voice sounds a bit grotty, but actually I am feeling much, 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 much better now. And this felt like an important one. It felt like a timely reminder, really. This time of year, January, we're all just a bit cold, aren't we? We're a bit cold, a bit weary, post-Christmas weary. Anyway, it's nearly over. In fact, when this podcast comes up, it could even be the 1st of Feb. Oh, if it is, pinch punch first of the month. Anyway, listen, have a really good day. Have a really good week. If you love the podcast and you're a regular listener, I'm just wondering if you would do something for me. Would you leave an iTunes rating and review for me, please? I'm going to start reading them out on the podcast. So if you leave one, I could be reading yours out next week. And I'd be so grateful. How could you resist that little begging voice from someone that has been feeling poorly too? Come on. You know you want to. Anyway, have a great week, everyone, and bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that getting our heads together this week has filled your mind with what's possible. If you love the show, would you do me a massive favour, please? Would you leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts? It would really help me put more heads together, reach more ears and expand more minds. Until next week, bye for now.